Man,
Hey man, it's a blessing to have you up in here, man. You got this book. Let's talk about some things that you have inside the book, because this is something that I think everyone needs. So tell us what's inside the book, what to expect.
So with that book, you can find a conversational piece. It's not a how-to book, and in it, I really gave everything I had in me into the book. I started this journey 2 years ago. It's called the One Book a Week Challenge, and I challenged myself to read a book a week for 2 years. And to keep that promise and to keep that challenge for myself, I started broadcasting it so that I knew if other people knew I was doing it, I was going to have to follow through. So I started reading a book a week for 2 years. And towards as I was reading these books, I said, you know what? I need to just write my own book. I have a story to tell.
All right.
So I was motivated to go ahead and start writing my own book. And I just put my head down into the paper and just started writing. And Homeless to Homeowner was born at that point.
So you're telling me through the hardship and what you went through, you never stopped reading, though. You kept your stance as far as reading. And tell me, is that what happened?
You have to. And so during the process of the 9 months of homelessness, I had a child on the way, and I didn't know how I was going to support my child.
Right.
And you have to continue. I was reading the Bible a lot in there. And one thing I kept reading was the book of Genesis, just the stories of perseverance in that book. And then I would read this. I was reading Proverbs. I read Psalms, and I would use the Bible, especially during those hard times. I think it's so easy for us to be happy and appreciative of life when things are going good, when we got money in our pocket,
all right, now
our family's healthy, everything is going well. It's so easy to be optimistic, but it's during those times when you're going through those trials and tribulations, and when life seems to be throwing its best at you, or should I say its worst at you, that's like your true test. And it was during those times that I said, I know I had to stick with it. And I was listening to motivational speakers. I was reading, like I said, reading a lot of books. And so, I kept at it during those times, that I was going through the most. I kept reading, I kept studying, I kept taking leaps of faith. And it's not just one leap of faith. Those are continuous leaps of faith you have to take. And you have to persevere. You're going to run into a lot of brick walls. That's promised to you. But the true test of you is, like I said, it's not what happens to you, but it's how you respond to those events in life.
We was talking before the break about how you became homeless and you had to go back home. Now that's what, because everyone they want to buy their mom a crib and stuff like that. We said we're going to do this. We're going to live the life. We're going to be rich. We're going to be famous. But you have to go back home. Tell me, man, how was that, man? That was tough.
So it's crazy because at the college, I had interviewed with the Boy Scouts. I was going to get a nice position up in D.C. My girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, she started her master's degree at Howard. So she was at Howard. I was supposed to be positioned up in D.C. So we had it all planned out. But when they turned me down for the job, and the way they did it was just crazy because they had practically promised me the position. They just had to move some people around. So I'm stuck back at home.
Wow.
I was working like 3 part-time jobs, stressing myself out. I even tried to go back to school, dropped out of grad school. It was just anything that can happen that wasn't in favor of me just seemed to keep happening to me. And I just, I had one the straw that broke the camel's back was I interviewed for the Grammys with a recording academy.
Oh, wow.
And I was the second. It was me and another girl. We were finalists for the job. And I had to go to Philly, so I was in Philly. And it seemed like they liked me. And next thing you know, I got turned down for that position. And I talk about it in the book. In my book, I put in my journal entries from around that time. So, when I got turned down from the job with the Grammys, which was a dream job for me, that was it for me. And I went to my mother and I said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I got to take a leap of faith. I need to go back down south where my support network is. And that's when this journey started.